Welcome back to Sequelibrium, and in this month of February, I'd like to take a look at one of Rareware's lesser-known titles. Get it? February? Today we will be looking at the cult classic Force Gemini. What can you even expect to see with a name like that? Oh, gun ants. Rare seem to like to take a shot at every genre from racing to fighting games, and this is their crack at a third-person shooter. Force Gemini, for our sake we will abbreviate to JFG, was inspired by all the sci-fi properties the team was enjoying at the time. From Star Wars to Dune, this game was a sort of tribute to all the classic properties we grew to love. This might be one of the first games I can think of that allowed you to play in widescreen mode. For some reason, whenever I visit a used game store, this game always seemed to be in abundance. This is more than likely due to the fact that the third-person shooters didn't map too well to the N64 controller, and as such the controls feel super clunky and tough to get used to. Lucky for us, however, in the Xbox One game Rare Replay, they've allowed us to use a more modern control scheme. Let me tell you, being able to use two sticks in this game is a godsend. In this game you get to play three of the Jet Force who are attacked by an evil spider Mizar and his ant army, and are out for revenge. Huh. You know, this game sounds a lot more strange now that I'm reading it out loud. At first you're only allowed to play as Juno, the male character, but you unlock the other characters along the way. Each character has their own unique abilities which come into play when hunting secrets or their level progression. Vela can swim and breathe underwater, pretty useful. Lupus, the dog, has rocket feet and can hover for a time, as dogs do. Juno has the ability to walk in lava unharmed, which you'd imagine in real life an opportunity for that wouldn't arise too often, but it's pretty common here. This game's got one of the strangest progressions I've seen in a video game. Each character has 3 unique levels to themselves. Then they all meet up in the final level Mizar's Palace to fight with the evil lord himself. At first you only start off playing as Juno until eventually you rescue Vela. Then partway through Vela's story you unlock Lupus to play as. Each character has their own boss they must defeat before meeting up at Mizar's Palace. Do you need this? It's okay, it makes me want to throw up too. Once your whole squad's on the pyramid, you get to sick your dog on Mizar. Guess the guy who's impervious to fire can't squeeze through there. Now you got the final battle on your hands. Or is it? It's not. Lupus beats him in like 2 shots and he runs away. This is where the game opens up into a Metroidvania-esque adventure. The whole game gets equipped with jetpacks for some reason, and now you can visit any level with any character. The goal now is to find spaceship parts so you can fly to the asteroid that Mizar has taken residence in and is hurtling towards Earth. Here's where some nitpicking comes in. First off, they have their own spaceship, so why can't they just fly there? The game says that those ships aren't fast enough to get there, but from the looks of it, they can go warp speed. How much faster could you possibly need to go? Also, it takes you half a century to collect all the spaceship parts and tribals, so realistically, even if the new ship was faster, Earth would probably still be destroyed by then. Oh, did I not mention the tribals? These boombox-headed bears are enslaved by Mizar and scattered throughout every level. Collecting all of them nets you a spaceship part. You know what that means? You gotta collect every one of these little bastards to beat the game. This right here is what kept me from beating the game until I managed to do it for the review. Here's how it works. Each world has zones in it, and depending on how many tribals collect in each zone, that would be your record for the area. It's very similar to Banjo-Kazooie, where if you didn't collect every note in a world, you would have to start from 0 if you re-enter and want to get all of them. Many times the tribals are only accessible by certain characters, and sometimes they're hidden in spots where they're easy to kill or nearly impossible to find. Collecting every tribal and spaceship part enables you to travel to the asteroid Mizar is stationed in. After a short gauntlet of enemies, you're able to challenge the big man himself. And guess who gets to fight Mizar? Nope, not Lupus.
It's never Lupus.
It's our boy Juno. First fight was pretty easy, so this shouldn't be too hard, right? This is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Man, talk about a final fight. It's near impossible for you to land shots on his weak spot. And his lightning move? Dear God, his lightning move. Most of his attacks do maybe a couple health when they hit you, but his lightning move does seemingly half your health when it hits you. Worst of all, it's seemingly random where he shoots it and how fast it travels. making it impossible to predict. If you want to beat this fight, you can't get hit by it. After you blow the big creepy crawler to smithereens, you find that it was a tribal all along? You find out the tribal leader you've been helping, his brother Barry, decided to be evil and become Mizar, I guess. One more little minigame and you beat JFG. What a trip it has been. I don't know, I still can't get over the fact that Mizar was just a suit or whatever. It seemed like a weirdly unnecessary twist. I like the idea of this giant cyborg spider trying to rule the world. I think it would have been more interesting if Barry was co-conspiring with Mizar and selling out his own tribe. That would have been some sweet intrigue. GFG was extremely ambitious for its time, and as such there was a lot of great ideas, but those came with some drawbacks as well. If it seems like I don't like the game, it's actually quite the opposite. I really enjoyed the game. They did an amazing job at not making the game feel empty and enticing the player to keep playing. At seemingly every turn there was a new gun, ammo upgrade, or health upgrade to collect. They also did a great job of keeping the game interesting by adding various mini-games and challenges throughout the worlds. And though almost all of these ended up being a requirement for completing the game, they still serve their purpose by breaking up any monotony that may occur. The environments are diverse and interesting, and the plot is fun and lighthearted. Retrieving a hippie toad's pants has never been so fun. This game also has a killer soundtrack, which I highly recommend listening to. Each time you complete a major milestone in the game, the main menu screen changes to match. This is a neat bit of flair that definitely adds to your sense of progression throughout. The game also has a selection of multiplayer modes, which are pretty novel. And you can also have a friend take control of your robot buddy Floyd in single player for a pseudo co-op experience. So what would I like to see in a new Jet Force Gemini game? Well, besides the obvious graphics update and AI pathing, a really cool mechanic that I think is woefully underused is the transformation abilities. In a couple levels, you're able to step on a platform and be transformed into a tribal or ant. This is really cool and opens the door to so many possibilities that most never come to fruition. This could quite possibly be due to storage limitations, however. Many levels have to be scaled down to have the game be able to fit on the N64 cart. I found myself only using a couple weapons during the game. While there was quite an impressive amount, I found many to be too cumbersome to use efficiently, and others would take seemingly a whole clip to kill an enemy. It would be nice if different enemies were weak to different weapons, so there was a tiny bit of strategy involved. For example, sure, you can mow this ant down with a machine gun, but it would be more efficient to use a flamethrower because it's weak to fire. As you play through, you can tell that's kinda what they were going for, but most of your problems can be solved with either the machine gun or rocket launcher. I found it rare that I would switch off these weapons. If in the new game there were to be tribal collecting, or something of that nature, a way more friendly way to go about it would be to only require you to pick up a majority of them to be able to get to the end. Like say 75 or 80%. That way more people would be able to experience the game, and you could add a reward for getting all of the tribals, like a cheat or secret ending. Because as it stands, everyone I've ever met who's played this game has never made it to the end. Conversations usually go like this: Jet Force Gemini, I love that game. Have you ever beat it? Nope. I'd love to see more bugs and creepy crawlies in a new JFG. Get some centipedes, flies, and what have you. Though there may be a decent variety as it is, it could always be expanded upon. Like this monstrosity. What is that? No, I'm good. One more minor thing is that characters have their own inventory. This can make item management a pain, and I found myself having to do some unnecessary backtracking. I understand not being able to share keycards because it could easily break levels, but having a shared inventory for certain key items would help streamline the process and take out unneeded inventory management. Final thoughts. Though unlikely, I would really enjoy seeing a new JFG with updated graphics and some tweaks to weapon balance and gameplay. Add some more planets and enemies, and you got a sequel I'd be happy to bite into. In an age where third-person shooters are typically some realistic game that uses a cover system, a cartoony sort of run-and-gun game like Jet Force Gemini might be a nice breath of fresh air. Oh, and bring back the fish food.